Welcome, everyone, to Los Lunas. This is a sound check. We have a JV game going on right now. It's still in the third quarter, 45 seconds remaining, and Hobbs winning pretty big, 43-30. So we still have a quarter left of the JV contest. And we'll bring you the pregame show here in a few minutes. Ty Friend, Ron Gunner with you, and Tiffany Stuber back at the station. Hobbs Eagles come in tonight, 9-7 records. And, of course, their opponent here, Los Lunas, 12-3, one of the better teams in the state. They did play each other back at the Artesia tournament, and that's one that Los Lunas actually won. All three games victories for them at the Tournament of Champions. Final score in that one was a 3-point ball game that the Los Lunas squad did defeat the Hobbs Eagles in that one, 46-43. So kind of a redemption game for the Eagles coming off the APS Metro tournament. Of course, the win against Las Cruces Tuesday night as well. So a couple of game win streak for the Eagles, and this Los Lunas team lost to Volcano Vista pretty bad by double digits, number one team in the state, the Hawks. So tough game for them to head into this one. But that's my sound check. I'm going to turn over to Ron.
All right, sound check on this end. Just watching the JV play. It's almost the end of the third quarter. 45-30 is the score. And this rivalry is not very old. In fact, it's very young. It's 3-2. Hobbs holds the slight advantage on that one. The first time they played was back in 2007 for state, and that was played in Hobbs. And that was the game that Hobbs won the first game against Los Lunas. 103-76. That is the sound checker right now. We're at the end of the quarter. 45-30. Hobbs holds a 15-point lead right now. We're going to come back later on with the pregame show for the Los Lunas Tigers versus the, of course, your Hobbs Eagles.
Yes, this game you're watching right now is JV, and with one more quarter to go, so we have 8 minutes left in this contest. Ty Friend, Ron Gunner will sign off and turn it back to Tiffany Stuber back at the station. Those of you waiting for Hobbs varsity basketball against Los Lunas, we're in the JV game right now, about 2:55 remaining, and your Hobbs Eagles JV leading 50-35, 15-point lead. So this game is going to be getting finished here in just a few minutes, and of course Eagles up by double digits, so no chance, looks like, for overtime in this one. Hobbs varsity will take on Los Lunas here in just a few seconds. 9-7 record for the Eagles and 12-3 for Los Lunas. Ty friend Ron Gunner with you here. And we have Tiffany Stuber back at the station. We'll keep you updated on some Lee County games going on tonight. Of course, Lovington's in action, as well as the Jal and Eunice going head-to-head tonight. And also Tatum's got a game as well. So we're live here at Los Lunas. Again, 2:15 remaining in the fourth quarter of the JV game. Hobbs up 52-35, and might be able to see some of that action as we continue. We'll have the pregame show starting here in just a few minutes on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and, of course, on the radio. We'll get that going on here in a few minutes as well. Cool 95.7. We're not on the radio quite yet. I forgot what I was doing. Welcome, everyone, to Los Lunas, New Mexico. Time for Hobbs Eagle basketball, live on Cool 95.7 and on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Ty Friend, Ron Gunner with you. Tiffany Stuber back at the station. It's the Road Warriors back in action, Ron. The Eagles playing here in Los Lunas against a team they played before in Artesia at the Tournament of Champions back on December 2nd, a team they lost to by 3 points. Los Lunas went on and won the Artesia tournament, so they're pretty happy about that. 12-3 record against the Eagles at 9-7. Eagles been battle-tested. Hobbs Holiday Tournament, APS Metro Tournament, big win against Las Cruces Tuesday night. Got some players back from injuries, have lost a few players off the roster, 3 total now in the last couple of weeks, but starting to kind of get a gel together, some chemistry, 2 wins in a row, and I think we're going to start to see some things start to improve in different areas of their game so far. We're starting to see people trying to help out Michael Mackey. Of course, Mackey continues just to dump down the points, 20-plus a ball game, but at the same time, people like Abraham Pena can help out with the shooting game. We got some people starting to get back. Turbiatis, of course, we saw him back on Tuesday against Las Cruces, and a couple other guys out there as well. And some, again, young team trying to get the gel together. District hasn't started yet. That's going to be a clean slate here in a couple of weeks. So Hobbs is trying to get kind of tuned up, but a lot of road games on. That can get your team kind of more mature in a quicker fashion. Yeah,
there's so many things you could cover. You can cover the fact they've gotten better at rebounds. Definitely gotten better on the free throws. Mackey's been solid on all 4 quarters. We were talking about the fact that he was being swallowed up in the second half. He has not been doing that. Plus, in the first 8 games, Hobbs was 5-3. That was a good record. However, they were only scoring 53.75 points a game. However, this time around, their last 8 games, they are 4-4 in record. Because they've been playing some really good teams, and they've been in it always. And their points per game has gone up to 68 points. And Hobbs has been pretty much one of those. Has been, if they lose a game, they've actually had leads in most of their, if not all of their games. But they lose it in the fourth quarter. They just come up short by about 3 to 5 points. And a lot of teams would say, I'd take that over being blown out. And I think Hobbs is on the right foot to moving forward.
Well, that kind of goes back to the theme of the summer basketball league. You play against players that are 2 or 3 times better than you, starting off in junior high and then to the high school grades. That kind of is the mentality with the Hobbs basketball program. You want to see kids progress. When they play tougher teams, they up their game a little bit. When they play teams that they should be running over, sometimes they get a little sloppy, and we've seen that in some games this season, including this one against Los Lunas back on December 2nd. 46-43 the final, 89 points. Both teams did not look great in that tournament. Of course, it's pretty early in the season, but still, Hobbs got the loss on that, and that kind of hurt them for the rest of the tournament. But still, we'll get to that game here in a minute. But the game Tuesday night, I think, was a very good one for the Hobbs Eagles in terms of beating Las Cruces. That hadn't happened for quite a few years, and Las Cruces 31-1 last year, and got beat by Volcano Vista in the championship. They did lose some key players. I'm not going to, kind of fluff that over there. But Benjamin, graduating, and 2 other seniors on that team. They're 3 top scorers. But Hobbs, again, they're rebuilding with the new kids, and Las Cruces has to do the same. But the Eagles getting that victory, 69-64. Hobbs shooting some good 3-pointers, 7 of those total, 4 of those for Michael Mackey in that game. So definitely helping out the cause. Abraham Pena stroking 8 free throws for the Eagles in the winning cause as well. And Hobbs is a team shooting 84%. Can't sneeze at those numbers, and that's the best of the season in terms of the free throw shooting. And that's what we need to see, some consistency, and we saw that from the Eagles to get that win. It was not an easy victory, 5 points, and very contested throughout the game. But still, 26 for Mackey, Abraham Pena with 15. What I like to see about Pena, though, even though he had the 15 points and the stellar free throw shooting, 7 rebounds in the game. We saw Michael Mackey leading the team several times in rebounds this season, too. So those guys are not just one-dimensional. We should go along with those stats and make the point, too, that Michael Mackey leads in assists per game, which means helping teammates score, steals per game, which means playing some good, tough defense, and also the scoring production as well. We knew that already. But rebounds, he's number 1, too. So, I mean, again, multi-dimensional. I think Ronald Ross is kind of taking him under his wing a little bit, and that's one reason Ross did come to the program, is to work with some of these kids individually and give them a taste of what, even in his case, walk-on basketball was all about, because that's what Ross did it the hard way, and, of course, with his rise in the ranks with Texas Tech.
Yes, it's very difficult to get a player who can go on both sides of the court and do such a great, phenomenal job as far as being around the ball or getting the ball or making the scoring of the ball. Plus, of course, you also have the free throws. He's been getting better at that. In fact, he's I want to guesstimate 90%, maybe 85 on his good days. But he's been hitting more than most. He's been getting about 9 out of 10. and he's also been getting a lot more chances on the free throw line, which has helped. And yes, there's a few other players that we'll be talking about, of course, that have upped their game as well.
Hobbs also chiseled down some of their turnovers against Las Cruces. They only had 11 in that game. Their average has been 18 on the season, so about 7 or so less than normal against some tougher competition. So that's good to see that there. Again, kind of a work in progress, trying to get different numbers and combinations out there to see who can take care of the basketball, get the plays working. They do a lot of the handoff stuff on the perimeter, and sometimes the guys aren't looking at the bucket too much. Fans get kind of impatient in Hobbs, of course. They want to see quick scoring and fast break transition. But, again, Coach Reeves is working with his kids and making sure they're comfortable with the basketball and getting some more looks out there. And that's one thing, there's been some criticism. We had a long three-point shooter for quite a few seasons and, record breaker for Hobbs. Who else is going to get a chance to score the 25, 30 points a game? But at the same time, we get some guys stepping up like Payne and Mackey and others on the court. So big win for Hobbs, 69-64. Now the game these two teams play, Los Lunas and Hobbs, back on December 2nd. Again, it was a pretty close contest. The Eagles ended up losing that one by 3, 46-43. In that game, Michael Mackey, 20 points, and again, he was the leader in rebounds in that one. He had 7 boards and was 4 for 5 from the line, hit a couple of trays for the Eagles in that one. Abraham Pena finished second in scoring with 11, and he was 3 of 4 from the line with 3 rebounds. But after that, a big drop-off in scoring. Nobody getting higher than 5 points other than those two, Mackey and, of course, Pena, combining for 31 points out of the total 43. So way past the 50% mark in terms of scoring for the Eagles. Not a lot of bench help in that game. Hobbs shot 64% from the field and had 19 turnovers, which really hurt him in some cases in that game. Did out-rebound Los Lunas, though, 29-21, so that was a plus in terms of stats against the Tigers in that one. Hobbs got to be careful, though. A couple kids really stepped up big in that game. Jalen Holland especially, 25 points. Couple of three-pointers in that game and had 7 rebounds that lead the team. Eagles got to be putting the radar on him, but he was the only double-digit scorer. Ezra Guest, who's one of their best scorers of the season for the Tigers, had 9 points, 1 for 1 on the line and 3 rebounds. So it was Holland and Guest doing much of the scoring. Gilio Griego had 8 points and 5 rebounds. So those 3 guys stepped up big, and they got a 12-3 record. Yeah, they did, and I always thought that they were just lacking the fourth quarter. Some people thought that as well. And I think they've worked on that, been able to iron out those kinks that they had before, and definitely have improved as far as getting the final touches and winning the game when it counts. I think the key to victory for Los Lunas in that game at the Artesia tournament was turnovers. Hobbs, again, 19. And, of course, Los Lunas only had 5 in that game and ended up winning by a slim margin, but Hobbs had to keep overcoming the hump there with giving the ball away so many times. So that especially definitely, at the fourth quarter. Yes. Their free throw shooting wasn't good, though, for the Tigers, 6 of 11 for 54%. So that number not good for them. They're going to have to improve on that. They want to pull off another victory against the Eagles. And Hobbs here wearing their black uniforms tonight, white numbers and gold trim, and it'll be home white uniforms for the Tigers and blue on top of that. National Anthem starting here in Los Lunas. We'll take a 90-second break and come back live with more Hobbs Eagle Hoops. Welcome back to the Hobbs Eagle pregame show, live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. The Hobbs Eagles have just been announced on the court. The starters for this game: Michael Mackey, Braylon Vega, Abraham Pena, Brian Acosta, and Chris Archibald. For Los Lunas, they'll start Galileo Griego, Jalen Holland, Logan Tafoya, Ezra Guest. And we're waiting to see who their last starter will be here, as they didn't have that marked in the book when we were checking it out earlier. Hobbs Eagles are led in scoring by Michael Mackey's 22.5 points a game, number 1 in rebounds at 5.4. Also in assists at 2.6 and steals at 2.6, so he leads in 4 categories and stats for the Hobbs Eagles. Second in scoring is Abraham Pena, averaging 14.4 a game, second in assists and second in steals as well. He leads the team in three-point shots. He's got 31 on the season, so definitely doing a good job shooting from the outside in Abraham Pena. And one of the youngsters on this team, just a sophomore. Braylon Vega, of course, he's young too. He's a freshman. He's currently averaging 7 points a game, and he is second on the team now with 21 three-pointers so far this season. Brian Acosta, the starter, he's averaging 3 points a contest. And one of his best stats is rebounds, close to 2 a game. Last but not least, Chris Archibald. He's averaging 2.5 a game and 2.6 rebounds a contest as well. So those are your starters for the Eagles. They are shooting 47% from the field. Three-point line, 35%, which is pretty average around the country. And free throws at 65%. That's definitely improved after their 80+% free throw shooting against Las Cruces. Eagles averaging 18 turnovers and getting 7.8 steals a game. That's a little bit the area they need to work on just a bit to continue with this 2-game win streak at this point in time. Again, 9-7 on the season, your Eagles, and the Tigers at 12-3. And Mackey gets the jump into the backcourt, and the tip going to the Eagles. That's Brian Acosta, and hands it off to Pena. Hobbs basketball in the front court. Start the first possession of the ball game. They give it off to right side to Acosta. Sends it down to Mackey in the corner. He's going to spot up a tray off the side of the rim. No good. Tipped up in the air. Pulled down on the right block for Los Lunas by Jalen Holland. He'll come up the court with the dribble to the right wing behind his back. Shot from the free throw line. Off the back of the iron. No good. Acosta pulls it down on the right block for his first board. And directly over to Pena on the far side. Into the front court off the dribble with his left hand. Underhands it to Mackey. Mackey slides back to the left. Wants to clear out as he'll go up against the defense of Guest. Top of the circle against a 2-3 zone, it appears now. Over the right wing to Acosta, hands off to Pena. Up top to Acosta with the jab step, goes back door to Mackey, reverse layup on the right side, misses off the side of the rim, and pulled down for the rebound for the Tigers by Dixon. Dixon across the timeline, gives it off to Holland, to the left corner, a 3 on the way, shot for Guest off the back of the rim, loose in the left corner and pulled down for the Eagles by Pena. That's his first rebound. Goes it across the timeline to the right wing to Acosta. Back to Vega and hand off to Pena on the right side of the arc. He's going to wait for a screen from Acosta. Top of the circle, doesn't use it. Slides left off the dribble, spins on the near sideline, and throws a high one up top to Acosta. Still scoreless here in the first quarter. Drive to the right wing and the handoff to Mackey in front of the Los Lunas bench. Taking some time in the patience. The pass up top to Archibald. Dribbles once, hands it off to Vega on the left wing. Again up top to Acosta. Dumps it in the paint on the left elbow to Archibald. Again up top to Acosta. Head off to Pena. Eagles being the patience on the offense here. Finds Archibald at the top of the circle. Hand off behind to Pena. NBA 3 out the back of the rim. No good. Rebound on the left block by Logan Tafoya for his first rebound. Off to the far side to Holland in the front court. Dribbles behind his back. Goes to the rack with a scoop shot and gets knocked to the floor from behind. Mackey stepped up on the baseline to help out, but coming over his back and knocking him to the floor was Chris Archibald. That'll be his first personal and the first team foul. We know already that Holland does have a quick first step to the hoop.
And it showed right there. He had a nice little move, was able to get ahead of it, and drew the foul.
So he'll get a chance for a couple of free throws as he was flattened on the floor that time. Holland was 3 of 4 from the charity stripe the last time these two teams played and breaks the first one off the left rim. No good. He'll get one more. So still scoreless here in Los Lunas. Eagles coming in with the number 12 rank in the Max Preps poll. Los Lunas at number 5. Second shot good for Holland, a swish. He went 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. First point of the game, 1-0 Tigers. Quick inbound left corner to Vega in the backcourt. Back to Acosta right side. Sends it to the near sideline to Pena. Gets stripped by Holland. They're going to call the foul. Almost a jump ball, but official caught Holland on the wrist and picks up the foul. So Holland's first team foul against the Tigers.
Tigers pressing a little bit, see if they can throw off the Hobbs offense.
And then they backed up quickly after the inbound came in. Coming across is Pena, hands off to Mackey. Up top to Vega. Vega sends it back to Mackey on the right wing. Fakes a tray, goes baseline, 10-footer, fadeaway, puts it right through the net. Mackey with his first bucket of the game, and Hobbs with their lead. It's 2-1. Long pass to the other end, wide open. Tafoya takes it home on the right side. Scoop shot off the glass and scores. Uncontested layup for him. It's now 3-2 Tigers. Coming across the timelines, Mackey on the right side wing. Crossover move. Didn't use the screen from Acosta. Gives it up top instead to Archibek. Dribbles, bounce pass to Pena, left baseline. 15-footer, swishes it through. Eagles starting to get the stroke going here. His first bucket. It's now 4-3. Hobbs by 1. Going to the other end to the right block. Jump stop for Guest off the dribble. Returns to the right wing to Griego. Jab step against Vega. He'll back it out. Dangerous throw to the left wing to Holland. He's able to track it and throw up a three at the same time and throws it through the hole. Holland from the left wing. He's got 4 points on the first tray of the game for either team. 6-4. Biggest lead has been 2 for the Tigers. Mackey in the front court right side. Up top to Archibek. He's going to come around the left circle. Uses up the dribble. Flicks it over to Vega. Back to Archibek. Turns and spins on the left block. Throws it off the glass and scores. Little wrist flick that time for Archibek. Nice give and go. It's tied up at 6. In the front court, crossover move for Guest. Goes the rack. Double clutch off the right side glass and scores. Both teams starting a track meet here. 8-6 now. Los Lunas by 2. They've had 3 scores so far and 3 for the Eagles as well. Pena bring it across, down by 2, 8-6. Comes to the right side, hands to Mackey. Over to left wing to Vega, up top off the dribble. To Mackey on the give and go to the right corner. Jab step a couple of times against Holland. Spots up an 18-footer inside the 3, off the front of the rim, no good. Ripped down on the right board for Los Lunas by Hunter Dixon. That's his second rebound. Outlet in the front court to Griego on the top of the arc. Gets a screen from Dixon. He's going to throw up the 3 off the front of the rim, no good. Saved on the baseline right side. Pena waited for it, and it's pulled down by Dixon. Pass off to the left corner, and holding it for just a second was Tafoya. And he'll swing it back up top to Griego. Drives to the free throw line. Good pressure defense. Hand off to Holland. He tries to go to the hole with it. Down the right side of the lane. They're going to call the hold foul on the Eagles. Right side of the free throw line that time, and that will be the Eagles' second team foul. They'll charge that one to Braylon Vega. And you can't wait for these guys to get that first step, because after that goes to the rack, they're going to put it through the hole. And we've seen the Eagles reach out and grab a few times.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to get those quick stops, but it's not working. Instead, they're drawing the fouls.
It's going to be an inbound coming on the near sideline. Isaiah Juarez has just checked in for the Tigers. He gets it into the timeline to Guest, backs it out, kicks it over to right wing again to Juarez. Gets a screen on the right side for Aragon, who just checked in. Over to left wing off the pass to Guest. Crossover move, guarded closely by Acosta. Drives the paint, back over the right wing. Wide open for 3 as Aragon hits the top of the backboard and falls through the cylinder somehow. I think it hit the cylinder first, hit the backboard, top of it, and then came through. So Aragon, they're going to count that for a 3 as well. Biggest lead now is 5 for the Los Lunas Tigers, 11-6 your score. 3:15 left first quarter. In the front court is Mackey, a handoff to Vega. Comes right, gives it off to Pena. Jab step. Swings it left to Mackey on the handoff. Top of the circle now off the dribble. Going to the right side and gives it to Vega. Vega with the handoff to Pena on the left wing off the dribble. Top of the circle and backs it out. Comes right, flicks it over to Mackey. Mackey gets the ball knocked out of his hands momentarily. Good defense being applied by Guest. Drives the lane. A runner shot. Does it up on the run with a jumper. Gets knocked to the floor backward and a foul. Count it right through the cylinder that time. To get the foul call on Guest, his first, second team foul. Mackey now with 4 points, trying to make it 5 with the free throw.
One of his signature shots is to be able to put that one in and draw the foul, and he did both of them very, very beautifully.
Yeah, he was going to the rack that time on the kind of a runner shot, then pulled back at the last second, put the brakes on, and leaned backward and got knocked to the floor. Coming to the game, he's 78% as a player, 65 as a team right now for the Eagles in the free throw category. First free throw of the game for Hobbs is a swish for Mackey. He's got 5 points, leading both teams in scoring. It's now 11-9. Los Lunas by 2, 2:48 left here in the first quarter. At the timeline with the dribble comes Guest. Stop and go as he takes on Pena to the near side, front court. Pena's jabbing at the ball, top of the arc now, backing up his Guest, and we got a whistle on the baseline. It looks like getting knocked to the floor was Holland off ball that time, and I think that was that was called against Hodge, who had just checked in momentarily. So Hodge already's got his first foul, third on the Eagles. 3-2 foul count at this point. Tigers will have it on the right baseline. The inbound is Guest. Pena trying to slap the inbound, gets the ball into Aragon on the left base. He pivots, fires it off left wing to Guest. Up top, wide open is Kinsey for three out the back of the rim. Mackey sky high for the rebound and top of the hoop. That's his first board. Dribbles into the front court, down the lane, but stripped by Holland. That'll be the first Eagles turnover. Holland's going to go the other way, gets a pass after he gave it off to Juarez, gets it back and with a tomahawk jam over the right rim. So Holland now with 6 points and also a steal to his name. Eagles now down by 4, 13-9. In the front court, dribbling behind his back is Hodge on the right wing, hands it off to the Eagles' Pena. Returns it up top to Mackey. Mackey dribbles right to Hodge with a little handoff. He comes down the lane with a scoop all the way to the rack and scores. Hodge getting off the bench for his first bucket. Eagles with 4 scores now. They trail by 2, 13-11. Holland at the other end with a right wing 3-shot. Kind of a force, no good. Rebound in the left block by Juarez. Sends it back to the left wing to Guest. Guest will spot up a tray himself. Clinks it off the iron, no good. Mackey with another rebound on the far sideline. And he'll take it up with the dribble. His second board. 13-11 Los Alamos, or I knew I was going to say that, Los Lunas in this ball game. I owe you $100 if it happens again. Mackey at the top of the circle. They're not playing the Hilltoppers tonight. Gives it back to Pena at the top of the arc. He comes right off the dribble. Wait for a screen coming from Jordan Chisholm, who checked in momentarily. Kick it up top to Archibald. Hand off to Hodge on the left wing. Dribbles to the free throw line. Puts it back to reset to Chisholm top circle. He pivots. Gives it to Mackey on the right wing, but throws it right in his chest. And a takeaway for Los Lunas by Aragon. Second Eagle turnover. Gives in the front court to Holland, to left wing, over to the left corner for three for Kinsey out the front of the iron, no good. And Hodge with the rebound in transition. He'll take it to the front court. Goes to Mackey on the right block. Double clutch is foul, knocked backward again on his butt and flat on his back now. As the foul will be against Los Lunas for their third team foul. See who they got that one against that time. It looks like they'll charge that to Isaiah Juarez, his first. Stops the clock with 49 seconds left. And that'll put Mackey on the line. He's 1 for 1 so far. 5 points for him, leading the Eagles. 2-point Los Lunas lead, 13-11. Now make it 13-12 as Mackey hits another free throw. And a bunch of subs coming in. Hobbs going to bring in 2 themselves. And that includes Jairus Turbiantes. And also Nick Pena's back in action tonight. He's been out for several weeks. Hasn't played since, the second game, I believe. He went down with an injury, so he's back for his first action. And, of course, Turbiantes came back against Las Cruces, suffering a mouth injury a while back. Second free throw good for Mackey. He's perfect 3 for 3 in the game and has 7 points. Hobbs is tied up the game at 13 all. 49 seconds left here in the first quarter. In second game of the series, Hobbs losing the first by 3 back on December 2nd at the Artesia Tournament Champions. Coming across the timeline is Guest. He wants to clear out. Instead throws it up top to Hunter Dixon. Over to left wing, holding it for second is Griego, being guarded by Pena. Flip it back up top to reset to Aragon. Over to the right wing to Dixon with a nice head fake there, but not going to get away from Turbiantes. Throws it back to the timeline to Guest. Guest to hold it for a second, gets a screen from Holland. Uses up his dribble, back to Holland. A dangerous helium pass up towards the top of the half-court line there. He had to go up high for it. He's going to keep the clock moving with 10 seconds. Dribbles right side of the arc. Sends it back up top to Aragon. Over to left wing and driving baseline into the rack that time was Ezra Guest with a layup. A little finger roll on the left rim. Guest now with 4 points, and that will end the first quarter. Eagles not getting it in quick enough to try to get a last shot. So Los Lunas is in the lead by 2 here in the end of the first, 15-13 over the Hobbs Eagles. We'll take a 60-second break and come back on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Welcome back to Los Lunas. Ty Friend, Ron Gunner with you tonight. And, of course, Tiffany Stuber back at the station. Got a close battle going on right now as the Hobbs Eagles trailing Los Lunas 15-13 as we start the second quarter. Los Lunas 6 for Jalen Holland, 4 for Ezra Guest, their leaders. Hobbs, Michael Mackey, 7, and 2 apiece for Pena, Hodge, and Archibald. Eagles with 2 turnovers, none for Los Lunas. Rebounds right now, 5 for the Tigers and 5 for the Eagles. Pretty even there, I guess you could say. Ezra Guest with the ball on the left wing for the Tigers. Bounce pass, one-hander up the left corner, gets knocked out. Tough pressure being applied by Turbiatis. Or no, that was not Turbiatis, that was Chisholm would get a hand on it and knock it off the Tigers' knee out of bounds. Looked like Holland got the last touch in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench on the far right sideline. So Los Lunas picking up their first turnover. 7:30 left here in the second. Eagles down by 2, 15-13. Biggest lead has been 5 for Los Lunas and 1 for the Eagles. In the front court, a pass down left baseline to Pena. Drives to the rack, decides to pass to Mackey on the right wing. Dribbles into 18, throws up a J. Rolls around the rim and good for Mackey. Mackey leads the squad with 9 points and looks like he's on a big scoring night again, over 22 points a game.
Yeah, he's on fire so far.
Into the front court comes Holland, 16-15. Eagles by 1, matching their biggest lead of the first half. Pass over to left wing to Guest. Kicks it back to the right side to Griego, and again to Guest, top of the circle. Lost the handle on it, had to go back and get it, and then finds over to Holland on the left side. Holland will take a few dribbles, go to the left elbow, fade away from the free throw line off the front of the rim. He hits the floor, no call there. A scrap for the ball picked up for the Eagles by Hodge. And Hodge will take the dribble in the front court. His second, he goes to the rack after cradling it, misses the little finger roll on the left side, and long rebound the other way for the Tigers by Griego. Sends it down to the right corner to Guest. He'll hold it for a second. Keeps it on the same side of the pass to Griego. Up top to Holland. Trying to get a screen from Dixon. Doesn't use it. Kicks it left side instead to Juarez. Down to the left baseline. Getting trapped is Griego by Mackey. Pass up top to reset to Guest. Guest between his legs. Top of the circle. Sends it right side to Griego. Mackey will guard him now. Bumps him just a bit. Puts it up top to Tafoya. Over to left wing, a 3 by Griego. They're going to call the travel. The defender stopped off of him. That was Jordan Chisholm. And then a little jab step there, and Griego just moving that pivot foot all over the place.
Yeah, Griego thought about getting a 3, thought about faking it, and then thought about, oh, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and throw it up since nobody's in my face. And by that time, he'd shuffled his feet enough to get that travel call.
And kind of a chest shot at that, so he was completely indecisive on that one. Both teams with 2 turnovers now here in the first half, but a tie ball game. It's a battle going on. Number 5 for Los Lunas in the Max Preps poll. The Eagles at number 12. They moved up a spot this week, replacing Carlsbad, who dropped to 13.
Strength of schedule.
Yeah, strength of schedule, definitely the case there with the Eagles playing that APS Metro tournament. Pena fakes a 3 on the right side. Actually, that was Pena. No, it was Pena. Pena, you pick which one you like there. He throws up a shot from about the free throw line. I think they're going to count the basket on that one as well. Yes, it is. Good for him as he gets his first points in the ball game. Actually, his second bucket. He's got 4 now. And a chance for a 3-point play. You get the foul call against Holland, his second. He's their top scorer of the season. Shot for Pena is off the front of the rim. No good. And chased down to the left block in the dribble now is Guest, his first rebound. To Holland, top of the circle. Crossover move. Comes down the lane, hippity hop, and tries to throw up a scoop shot with 2 hands through 2 defenders. Couple of guys over there that time on the right block for the Eagles, Jordan Chisholm and Caden Hall. One of them going to get racked with a foul there. And they're going to call that on Chisholm, his first. That is the 14th foul against the Eagles. We'll send Holland to the line. So he'll get 2 shots on this one. First one is up, and it is good. So Holland adds another to his point totals. He's got 7 to lead the Tigers. And Holland, of course, played against Volcano Vista this week. He was not the top scorer in that game. They got beat bad, 71-31. Ezra Guest was the top scorer with only 10 points. They were down 46-16 at the half, so had some serious problems. And were 2 of 26 from the 3-point range. Not very good shooting against the top team in the state, who hasn't lost for a whole heck of a lot of games. Missed the free throw, rebound pulled underneath the hoop, but the Eagles by Pena, his second. Gets it across the timeline, over to the right wing from Chisholm, gets it back, and back to Pena on the right side again in front of the Los Lunas bench. He'll hold it for a second. He finds Acosta top of the circle, dribbles right, over to Pena on the right side. We got Pena and Pena in the game at the same time, so bear with me. To Mackey on the left wing with the jab step. Returns it back deep to Pena near the time stripe. 5:15 remaining second quarter. Hobbs by 1, 17-16. To the right wing off the dribble. Ball gets deflected as he tried to pass, but it looks like maybe the Tigers got the boot on the basketball off the foot of Ezra Guest on that far right sideline. So Hobbs need to do a little bit of better job of ball faking instead of just trying to throw it on the first attempt there. That one got knocked way up in the air and then kicked. Violation against Los Lunas Hobbs basketball. Mackey inbound to the timeline to Pena. He'll hold on to it for a second near the scores table right side. Sends it back to the left wing to Pena with a screen coming from Acosta. Doesn't use it. Finds Hall top of the circle. Dribbles right hand off to Mackey. Guarded by Holland, who does have 2 fouls. Crossover move through his legs. Mackey jump stop. Shot from the right elbow. Holland tried to block it. That could have been his 3rd foul. Gets a piece of it and then chases it down the far sideline. One-hand throw across the timeline to Grego right wing and returns deep to Guest. Guest over to the left side to Tafoya. Mackey puts some tough pressure to Holland on the left side, and then a slam down by Caden Hall. Hall had him right in the hips that time and then tried to slap the basketball and got the foul. That'll be his first, 15th foul. It's a 5-4 foul count favoring Los Lunas at this point. It looks like they go to their bench, does Los Lunas, and bring back Isaiah Juarez as he checks in for Logan Tafoya. Coach Julian not too happy with Tafoya for some reason. Inbound to Juarez in the left wing, returns back to the timeline to Guest. Comes right with the dribble, guarded by Pena, dribbles through his legs, right wing, crossover to his left hand and backs it out. Holland comes back and gets it near the timeline. He goes through his legs, behind his back, free throw line down the lane. Scoop pass down low, and there's the layup with the right hand by Juarez off the glass right side, his first bucket. The Tigers now with 5 scorers compared to 4 for the Eagles, and Hobbs down by 1, 18-17. This has been going back and forth. Mackey in the front court. Gives it off to Acosta right side. Hand off to the right wing to Vega. Up top to Hall. Swinging left side to Pena. Top of the circle, the pass to Acosta. Kick it right to Mackey. Top of the arc to Hall. Clock to 3:48 left, second quarter. Patient offense for the Eagles. A handoff off the dribble left side to Vega. Back deep to Acosta, top of the circle again to Pena right wing to Hall. He'll dribble left, hand off to Mackey. Perimeter passing game going on. Acosta, top of the circle, gets the pass. Flicks it over to right wing to Vega. Thought about a 3, decided against it. Instead, flips it up top to Hall. Fakes the handoff, gets a double team against him. Able to get it to Pena on the near side. And back deep to Acosta to set up the O. And there comes Pena to get it back. They're going to switch up their O a little bit. As Coach Soria jumps off the bench and redirects the offense. Pena to the left wing, to the left corner to Vega. Cross court right to Acosta, fakes the 3, drives the left side of the lane, lost the ball. They're going to call a hold foul underneath, and Coach Julian screaming at the official off the foul call. They thought he had all ball that time, trying to strip Acosta coming down the lane. They're called that one against Guest. He's their top scorer on the season. That's his second already, 15 fouls. So Holland and Guest have combined for 11 so far of the 18 points for the Tigers in foul trouble.
Yeah, even though it didn't look like there was a whole lot of fouls going on early in this game, there has been some for the Los Lunas Tigers that gets them in trouble.
Vega throws it in, gets it back on the left block, goes up strong with 2 hands over the rim. And that's 2 points for Vega. The freshman puts it through for his first bucket. And the Eagles now up by 1, 19-18 at the other end. A fade shot from the free throw line, no good for Holland off the back of the rim. Long rebound for the Eagles in transition for Pena. Throws it across the timeline to Mackey, left wing. It's an NBA 3 off the back of the rim. Loosed and knocked around. Looks like over the back going to be called on Vega on the right block. He tried to get up high for it, and Coach Reeves says he's got his hands straight up in the air. So Vega will pick up his second personal, 16th foul against the Eagles. It looks like subs are going to have to come in for Hobbs, as it looks like Hall will take a seat. Chris Archibek returns. Pena will stay on the court, as well as Acosta, Mackey, and one more Pena. Inbound to the deep right corner for the backcourt to Los Lunas, Griego. And we got a whistle in the backcourt. They're pointing back at the baseline for some reason. Looks like a inbound violation. No, they're going to give it back to Los Lunas, though. The official that was down court runs back and points to the baseline, and maybe they just didn't get it checked in properly.
The whole time Coach has been talking to the ref.
Aragon inbounds to the far sideline. I guess maybe all the refs weren't ready. Pass to Holland on the far side as he comes across. Gets a screen up top to Griego. Drives the lane, double clutch on the right. No good. Gets his own rebound and goes right back up with it. Holland now with 9 points and 2 rebounds. Had some words for the official, too. He's mad he didn't get a foul call on the first one as Mackey tried to swat the shot. Mackey in the front court now. The Tigers leading the Eagles by 1, 20-19. 2:30 left here in the second. Still a low-scoring affair like the first time, December 2nd. Mackey with a stop and go down the lane. Reverse layup left side, air ball. Underneath the hoop for the rebound is Dixon, his third. Throws it ahead to Holland, top of the circle. Strip from behind. Nice steal by Pena. And that'll be the third turnover for the Tigers. They throw it ahead to Mackey with the lefty reverse layup and scores. Mackey with 11 leading both teams. 21-20. Eagles by 1, and we've got a foul at the other end. Trying to drive the right side of the lane was Isaiah Juarez. He got hammered from behind. See what they call that one against the Eagles. That's their 7th. That will be a bonus situation as they charge that one to Brian Acosta, his first.
All right, we're going to see if we can get some free throws in here for Los Lunas.
Having a little bit of technical internet issues here. Break up. You're probably hearing us right now. Hopefully, as we go back to the line for Los Lunas, Isaiah Juarez. They called the foul on that last one on Brian Acosta, his first. That was the 17th foul on the Eagles, so the bonus situation. Free throws off the back of the rim, though. Missing the first. Ripping it down underneath the hoop is Braylon Vega, his first board. And he'll give it to Pena at the time stripe. Pena will come across. Hobbs up by 1, 21-20. Tries to send it up top. It's deflected, picked up by Vega. Hands it back to Pena behind the perimeter. He's going to back it out to the timeline with 1:45 left here in the second quarter. Only 41 points put on the scoreboard so far. To Hodge on the right wing, comes down the lane. Double clutch. That was a throw from the hip, chest, whatever he got it from, but it was kind of a no look at the basket shot that time. And so Hodge gets the bucket. And there's a whistle in the backcourt. Looks like Los Lunas calls a timeout. Hodge with 4 points. So the Eagles now with their biggest lead of the game, Ron, 23-20. And I think there's been some shots for the Tigers that really haven't been rebounded and after misses. And Hobbs is trying to take advantage of that right now, although it's a very low-scoring game.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting at least double this point by the time we got to halftime. However, this is the case. Maybe they're filling each other out again, maybe not. Who knows? Defense has been pretty good. Although the rebounds, as you've been talking about, I've been seeing them go one and done on both ends of the court. So, working on the rebounds as well as maybe Los Lunas just wants to get back in the game and try to make less silly mistakes.
Let's look back at that game December 2nd, though. Halftime score, Los Lunas 20, Hobbs 19. So look at the score now, pretty close to what we saw before. Both teams kind of just seeing what the other team's going to give them and maybe a little bit of forces at both ends here late in the second. But, again, low-scoring game the first time. Looks like we're in for a carbon copy in this one, at least up to this point. Very close to scoring as we saw was almost 2 months ago now.
Although we did think that was going to happen the other day at Las Cruces. Third quarter, Hobbs blew it out and just barely won it in the fourth.
Eagles by 3 after a Tiger timeout. Holland will bring it up against Hodge, the defender for the Eagles. Top of the circle. He's going to spot up an NBA 3. Hodge backed away and puts it through the hole, does Holland. That's his second tray of the contest. He's got 12 points to lead both teams. We're tied at 23. Pena will bring it across the timeline with 1:13 remaining in the second. Hippity hop and pass to Mackey, top of the circle. Jab step. He's going to fire up an NBA 3. In and out. Lid came off of that one, and here comes the rebound for Holland, his third. Into the front court, stop and go, and Hodge reaches out and grabs someone. That was Holland on the wrist for the foul. So that will be the second on Peyton Hodge, the 18th foul. And worse there, he's going to give Holland some free throw opportunities here. Holland is perfect, or make it 2 for 3 from the charity stripe for 66%. And as a team so far, they are 2 of 4 for 50%. They did not have a real good shooting time against the Eagles in terms of free throws back on December 2nd. They were 6 of 11 were the Tigers for 54%. So they definitely want to improve on those numbers, and this is probably a tight game that we're going to see throughout.
Exactly. And, this is maybe one of those at the fourth quarter that the free throws may become very, very important.
23 all right now. Trying to break that tie is Holland as he puts the first one through. He's made his last 3 free throws, missed his first in the ball game back in the first quarter. 13 points now for Holland as he leads both teams in scoring. Michael Mackey with 11 for the Eagles. So those 2 in double digits. Second shot for Holland is up and good. So he's got 14 now, a 2-point Tiger lead, 25-23 with 1:01 left here in the first half. Listening live to Hobbs Eagle Hoops, exclusive coverage on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and, of course, on the radio, Cool 95.7. Mackey gets the inbound far side, driving hard against Juarez, goes to the rack the whole way, misses the shot on the right side, tipped up, almost dropped in the hole there on the rebound by Chris Archibald from the left, cleaning up the glass. Ball comes off the rim, but they call the foul on the Tigers. First rebound for Archibald, and that'll be the Tigers' 6th team foul.
Archibald still unhappy that he missed the shot, was right there, just could not get enough oomph into it to get it in the hoop.
Double checking who the foul. I think that was Isaiah Aragon picking up his first. So we got some free throw opportunities here for Archibald. His first shot is up, and you could tell that was going to be off the right rim. He had some of a weird spin to the right side that time, and unfortunately could not get it corrected. So Archibald came into the game from the free throw stripe at 42%, but misses that one there. He'll get one more.
And his number's 42.
Eagles are 3 of 5 for 60%. Misses the second as well. Should have shut my mouth. Rebound for Holland. He spins around the left side of the perimeter in the backcourt. That's his fourth rebound. 48 seconds left in the second. No look pass into the front court, left wing. Caught by Griego. Returns to the left side again to Aragon. Again to Griego on the left corner. Tough pressure being applied by Archibald in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench left. Back deep to Holland to the timeline. Did a jump board as Hodge was right there to try to pickpocket him. Sends it over to Griego, left wing. Coach Ross kind of put some words out there to the Tiger player and trying to get the D on top of him. Back to the timeline to Rex Kinsey. Kinsey with a jab step. Back to the time stripe again to Griego, who jumped in the air and came back for it with 17 seconds. A running clock went in the last shot. Up by 2 are the Tigers. 25-23. Big gap now as Archibald is backed up just a little bit with 8 seconds. Still dribbling outside the left wing. It's Guest. Stop and go. He's going to fire up a 3 and puts it through. Actually, that wasn't Guest. That was Griego before the buzzer, and that went the first half of play, matching the biggest lead of the game here in the first half for 5 as the Tigers up 28-23. That's the fourth tray of the game for the Los Lunas Tigers and pulling up that 5-point lead. So we're at the end of 2 quarters of action here in Los Lunas. Your Eagles down 28-23 to the host Tigers. We'll take a 3-minute break and come back on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and on the radio, Cool 95.7. We've got you back live here in Los Lunas. The Los Lunas Tiger mascot just doing a little breakdance in action there for us. And Eagles trailing by 5, though, 28-23. We know the Eagles have the best mascot in the business. Unfortunately, he doesn't go on the road with the squad here, Ron. So a 5-point lead for the host team. We mentioned the last time these two teams played on December 2nd, a very close game at halftime in that one as well. Just a 1-point game, 20-19 in favor of Los Lunas. So not the exact numbers we see on the scoreboard right now, but kind of similar action, low point production in this game. Hobbs really doing a lot of perimeter passing, especially in that second quarter to try to get some things open. We're really not getting anybody hooked up inside to go up strong. A few times it happened, but a lot of time was run off there. Los Lunas has had some forced shots on the outside, but they started to hit some trays, which has been kind of the difference maker there. 4 trays in this game, 0 for the Hobbs Eagles at this point.
Yeah, there's been struggles on both sides, inside the paint, outside. Los Lunas is starting to find their shot, as you just said. But also, the other factor is that Los Lunas, I believe, has been on the line more than the Hobbs has. And that may or may not change in the second half. But I am expecting to see plenty of different changes and maybe even a full-court press from the Hobbs Eagles as they start the third quarter. Maybe even Los Lunas will do the same thing. If they get frustrated enough on offense, they'll try to frustrate Hobbs as well.
Yeah, we did notice in that JV game earlier, Hobbs started to press more and got some turnovers and came back in that contest and really started to extend the lead. They were by 18 points at one point.
Exactly. In fact, at halftime for the JV, it was 37-19. Didn't do much in the second half, but it ended up being a 57-41 final. The Hobbs JV winning that one convincingly over Los Lunas JV, which was nice. So we're kind of expecting to see maybe a little bit of a replica or duplicate of this one in this game as well. Plus, the last time they played Los Lunas, Hobbs was in the game for most of it, just lost it at the end. Wasn't able to control the ball as well as they wanted to, trying to either force up shots or just force the ball down the court. Either way, whatever happened, Hobbs was unable to retain or get back into the lead. And it seemed like the more they tried, the harder they tried, and the more they lost the ball.
Well, they did outscore Los Lunas in the fourth quarter, though, 16-12, but was not enough as they were down by 7 at the end of the third quarter in that game. And again, that was at the Artesia tournament, the Tournament of Champions. That was one that was won by Los Lunas as they picked off Carlsbad by a point, beat Hobbs by 3, and then beat Fort Sumner House by 8 points for the championship. Fort Sumner, a little small school, one of the smaller in the state. They combined with House, another high school, very small high school, and they almost won that tournament, but very tight game there at the end for Los Lunas to get the win. And we mentioned earlier this season some wins. Las Cruces, they defeated 60-44, beat them by 16. The Eagles only beat them by 5. That was on Tuesday, so Los Lunas had the better numbers there. Mayfield, Los Lunas winning by 36, the Eagles by 18, so they beat them double to what the Eagles did. Oregon Mountain, they knocked off by 2 points, which that's a pretty good win. Oregon Mountain's one of the better teams in the state right now. Hobbs lost to Oregon Mountain twice by 9 and by 3. And so those are the common opponents so far this season. Again, one more I should mention, Alamogordo. Los Lunas winning by 15 and the Eagles by 9. That was at the tournament there in Artesia. So there's been several common opponents, but tonight, got a close one here. Let's look at the numbers of what's going on in this contest. Jalen Holland, the leading scorer for the Tigers. He's got 14 points and a total of 5 free throw attempts, made 4 of those for 80%, well above the rest of his team at this point. Nobody else close to double digits. He also had 4 rebounds, and he is the leader on the glass as well in that category. Dropping down in scoring, Ezra Guest. He had 10 points against Volcano Vista this past week, and he's the top scorer in that game. He only has 4 in this one so far, and that was all coming in the first quarter, so kind of a quiet second for him. Galileo Griego hit a tray for 3 points in this game. Also, Isaiah Aragon got a tray for 3. And Isaiah Juarez had 2 points. And Logan Tapoy hit a bucket for 2. They've had a total of 6 scores here in the first half. 4 of 6 from the charity stripe for 66%. And they've had 3 turnovers in this first half, just 2 for the Eagles. So they've had 1 more turnover than what Hobbs has had. But they have out-rebounded the Eagles 11-10. We mentioned Jalen Holland with 4. Hunter Dixon was second on the team with 3 points. Let's flip the coin now. Look at the Eagles scoring. They do have 1 in double digits. As usual, Michael Mackey finishing with 11. 3 for 3 free throw shooting for him in the first quarter. He had a pair of buckets in both first and second quarter action. Also 2 rebounds for Mackey. After him, a couple of guys with 4. Abraham Pena, he had a couple of buckets and had 3 rebounds as well, plus a steal. Peyton Hodge coming off the bench for a couple of buckets for 4 points. Braylon Bailey hit a shot for 2 and 1 rebound. And it looks like one other scorer, Chris Archibald, coming off a bucket in the first quarter. He had 2 points and 1 rebound. Hobbs again with 10 boards in the first half, leading by Pena with 3. Mackey and Hodge both had 2 apiece. Eagles were 3 of 5 from the charity stripe for 60%. Again, no 3-pointers in the first half compared to 4 for Los Lunas. Eagles were down 15-13 in the first quarter, and they got a total of 10 points in the second and 13 for Los Lunas. That's why they're ahead by 5 at this point in time. So those are the numbers in the first half. The Hobbs Eagles and the Los Lunas Tigers playing in their second contest of the season. We'll take a final 1-minute break, get ready for second half action. You're listening to Hobbs Eagle Hoops on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Back here in Los Lunas, Ty Friend, Ron Gunner with you. Tiffany Stuber back at the station. Your Eagles trailing by 5 as we get ready for third quarter action, 28-23 Los Lunas. And before we get to that action, our sponsors who get this broadcast on the internet and the radio.
And without them, we would be without it. I'd be Lee County State Bank, Thriftway, Forest Tire, Hobbs Express, Robinson & Associates, Devon Energy, First American Bank, Eunice Pump and Supply, Lasco Construction, and NMR Pipeline.
As we get ready for third quarter, here we go. The Hobbs Eagles in their black uniforms going left to right in this second half. They trail by 5, 28-23. Pass to Mackey on the right wing. Cross court left. Vega thought about a 3, drives the paint, throws a hook shot in the middle of the lane, and comes off the front of the rim, no good. Pulled down by Dixon, his 4th rebound. Throws it across the timeline to the right wing to Griego. Passes right, gets it back from Guest. Now the top of the circle to Tafoya. Swing it to the left side. Driving baseline is Holland. Comes back. And then goes again to the rack with it and gets shoved in the back. They call the foul on the Eagles. Hobbs had a total of 8 fouls in the first half, 6 for Los Lunas. They charged that one. That'll unfortunately be the 3rd for Braylon Vega. And no movement on the bench yet for Coach Reeves and the staff. Right baseline inbound coming in for the Tigers underneath their hoop is Holland. He's got to settle it back up the near sideline. A dangerous throw hits the official out of bounds. Well, first they pointed for Hobbs and switched it over to the Tigers. Referee changed the call there, and the coaching staff of the Eagles want to know what's going on, but some confusion by the officials. They're going to give it. No, they're giving it to the Eagles, I guess. They switch it up again. Mackey will get it on the near side. He got a double team against him. Throws it back deep to Peñas. A 2-2-1 full court trap press going on here for the Tigers. Into the front court. Dribbling behind his back is Acosta after the pass. Throws it left corner to Vega. Rainbow 3. Braylon Vega, the first tray of the ball game for the Eagles. And a big one there, gets it down to a 2-point deficit, 28-26. Again, Vega, second leading three-point shooter on this team, likes to stroke it. And for him, that's his 22nd of the year. Shot taken and no good off the left side by Guest. Pulled down for the Eagles in transition by Pena. That'll be his 4th rebound of the ball game into the front court, top of the circle. Hand off to Mackey now, dribbles back to the timeline. Taking a lot of patience here as he looks over to the coaching staff. Coach Soria and Coach Ross up off the bench here. Up top of the circle with the crossover move. Through his legs. Left side of the lane. Pump it left to the corner. Driving baseline as Acosta gets blocked as he tries to shoot it. Sidewinder hook. Rejected by Holland out of bounds. Wasn't going to bite on that one. He just waited for the hand to go on the leather and slapped it out of there.
Exactly. He said, not my house, and that it was all ball.
Inbounding for the Eagles on the right baseline, or actually in the corner. They're going to move him down now on the sideline. Inbounding for the Eagles will be Vega. Gets it back deep to Acosta. Back to Vega on the left wing. Fakes a 3 with the head fake. Behind him to Payne. He'll spot up a 3, and he puts it through the hole. Eagles start to get on fire with the trays now. They've got 2 in this half. 7 total for Pena. 29-28. Eagles back up by 1, matching their biggest lead in the first half. But driving lane at the other end is Guest. Lost the ball, but it looks like punched out by Acosta. So Hobbs will have to play some D underneath the bucket of the Tigers, who trail now 29-28 to the black and gold. Inbounding on the left baseline is Guest. Throws it back deep to the right wing to Griego. To the corner to Guest for three on the right side. Off the back of the rim, no good. Ball gets ricocheted. Picked up on the scramble and laid up on the right side for two. As putting it through is Dixon. That's his first bucket and 5 rebounds for him.
Not a good look for the defense on Hobbs on that one.
Yeah, pinball action was bouncing off a bunch of people, and he picked it up and laid it in. 30-29, Tigers. Mackey with a stop and go. Ball gets loose on the far sideline. Chased down by Pena to save the turnover. Back to Mackey left wing. Uses up his dribble. And he got his feet spread out way wide and shifted the pivot foot left side of the perimeter there and gets the travel. That'll be the third turnover for the Eagles. 3 for Los Lunas in the first half. They haven't got one yet in this third quarter. Stop and go now. Guest has the basketball going against Pena into the front court. 1 point, Los Lunas lead. Comes to the far right sideline in front of the Tiger bench. Slings it up top to Holland. Holland gets a screen from Dixon, doesn't use it, pivots. Flicks it over to the right side to Guest. Drives the lane, reverse layup left, rejected by Pena. Pulled down by Mackey. Mackey in the front court. Comes to the left side of the lane, double clutch, misses off the side of the rim. Chased underneath by Holland, but I think they're going to say he was on the line. So they're going to give it back to the Eagles. He rebounded it with his feet straddling the baseline. The official right there to catch it. So Hobbs basketball on the right base underneath their hoop. Trailing by 1 with 5:16 remaining in the third quarter. Vega going to inbound, gets it in left wing to Acosta. Jump stop. Returns to Vega on the left wing, up top to Mackey. He'll back it out. Trying to get some rotation, some confusion on the play call as he looks over to the coaching staff and isn't sure what to call here. Uses the dribble, left side, goes down to the free throw line behind his back. Double team against him. Coming behind is Pena on the left wing. Eagles are kind of out of their sync offensively right now. They're kind of banging into their defense. Pena's going to spot up an NBA 3 out the front of the rim. Rebound for Vega on the left block. He goes up underneath the hoop with the rebound on the reverse. Can't get it to drop, but going back up and in on the layup on the second attempt there for the Eagles as putting it through was Vega. That's his second board and 7 points for him.
Close goaltending on that one.
Coming down the lane is Guest, kicks it right corner for 3 for Tafoya, nails it right through the threads. He pumps his fist up in the air. 5 points for Tafoya. That is the 5th three-pointer for Los Lunas, 2 for the Eagles. 33-31. The Tigers lead by 2 with 4:18 remaining in the third. Mackey brings it across at the top of the arc. Backs it out. Coming to get it is Payne with the handoff near the timeline. Coach Reeves and Coach Soria working hard to get the offense rotating a bit. This running clock here. Coach Julian clapping his hands, wants to see some aggressiveness on the defense. Running a lot of clock here. Payne is at the timeline, just bouncing around, waiting for somebody to come up, and there does come Acosta to get the ball. Acosta will send it right wing to Vega. We got a whistle on the Hobbs Eagle bench. Timeout going to be called here. So a lot of clock running, Ron, here, and looks like the Eagles staff just trying to figure out what they can get away with here. No real passes in the paint up here in the third quarter.
I know, so far a couple of good shots as far as three-pointers. Not every one of them has sink, though. So that means that they need to select those good shots or better shots. They're trying to get it back into the paint again like you were talking about just a moment ago. But for some reason just cannot get it in there at least comfortably enough for them to do so. And if so, they just usually pass it back out again.
Only trades converted been in this third quarter for the Eagles. Braylon Vega hit one and Pena hit one as well. So 5 points so far for Vega here in the third and 3 for Abraham Pena. Hobbs has gotten so far in the quarter a total of 8 points. And for Los Lunas, they've had 5, so a +3 in favor of the Eagles so far, and just a 2-point lead. It was Eagles down by 5 at the half.
Yeah, and they are keeping close to it again, as they always have been throughout most of this season. It just depends on what they can do off this break. Let's see if they can make something happen and make something positive happen as well.
Looks like Los Lunas is going to pick up with a 1-2-2 zone in the paint. They got some water on the floor, so they're going to be getting that cleaned up in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. So, again, against a 1-2-2 zone, you got some guys in the paint there that you got to deal with, and a lot of times the screen ain't going to work against that, so anxious to see what the Eagles are going to try to counter with. Inbound to Pena, fakes a handoff to Vega, and then gives it to Vega on the pass left wing. Dribbles back to Pena, hands off at the timeline. They're just going to run the clock again. DeMackey on the left wing, down to Acosta left corner, sized up by Holland. A bad pass on the far side. It's picked off by Kinsey, sends it ahead, missing the layup over the front of the rim. No good. And pulled down for the Eagles. That was Acosta with the rebound. Acosta gives to Mackey in the front court. Free throw. Shot is good on the jumper for Mackey. 13 for him, his first bucket of the second half. Into the front court, a 3 for Holland on the left side. Clinks out the front of the rim. Rebound on the free throw line for Guest. He fires up a J with an air ball. Hits the bottom of the net and rolls out of bounds. So we're tied at 33. Clock is continuing to run here. They have not stopped the clock as we get substitutions coming in. The scoreboard operator does not realize this, and referees aren't even looking at the scoreboard right now. They've ran off about 10 seconds off that clock run. They finally stop it at 2:56. Now restart on the inbound. Pena bringing across to the pass to Hodge, who just checked in left wing, front court. Hand off to Pena off the dribble. Gives to Acosta on the left wing. Now we're starting to see a little bit of movement to Pena on the right side. Bounce pass to Mackey in the right block against Holland. Double clutch. Gets hit in the head as he gets by Holland towards the rack and is fouled. Ball came off the iron, but he'll get 2 free throws. So now we're starting to see a couple more options opening up a bit. And Holland has just picked up his 3rd personal. That will be the first team foul here in the second half.
And Hobbs needed to do that because they needed to force the issue, either get some good shots or good looks, or at the very least get some foul trouble for the Tigers and get them on the free throw line.
Mackey's free throw up and good. He's 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. Eagles at the half were 3 of 5, now 4 of 6, so improving to 66% from the line. Mackey with 14 points to lead the Eagles and has the same as Holland for the Tigers. He's going to break that tie right now with Holland if he can make this second free throw. Hobbs up by 1. Second shot is swished for Mackey. He's got 15 now. Top scorer for the game. Hobbs up by 2, their biggest lead of the contest, 35-33. In the front court comes Holland. Dribbling against Mackey, gets a screen top of the circle from Griego. Continues on the right baseline, flicks it out to the right wing to Aragon. Cross court left to Griego, fires an uncontested 3 and nails it. Nobody out on him that time, as Griego now has 2 trays. He's got 6 points and the 6th three-pointer for the Tigers, who now lead by 1, 36-35. Nobody wants to break away with the big lead here in this game, as the biggest has been 5 for Los Lunas and 2 for the Eagles. Payne in the front court on the right wing. He'll back it out. Down by 1 with 2:05 left third. All over to the left side now off the dribble. Doesn't use the screen from Acosta. Instead passes up top to Chisholm, to Hodge on the right wing. He spins, and they're going to call the block foul. Getting knocked to the floor is Griego. Hodge got a little bit out of control on that spin move, but they're going to say there was no body position that time to get the foul on the charge. So they'll charge that one instead to Griego, his first. The scoreboard has him for 2, though. That will be the second team foul against the Tigers.
It looked like Griego moved into his path for Hodge, and that's what caused the bump.
Inbound deep to Pena on the right side with 1:50 left in the quarter. Pass over to Mackey on the left wing, and the coaching staff's pointing Mackey to give it back to Pena at the time stripe, and then Mackey comes back and gets it. He's going to run some clock and kind of put the Tigers to sleep here with 1:40 left in the third. Hobbs down by 1. Unloads to Pena on the left wing. Pena dribbles to the free throw, stop and go. Cradle tries to go up strong on 2 defenders and gets hammered. Ball came up straight in the air as they'll get the foul call against Los Lunas. And that for the Tigers will be their 3rd team foul. As they charge that one to Logan Tafoya. That'll be his first. So Pena on the line. He's 0 for 1 from the charity stripe. Takes 3 bounces. Shot is up, and it is good. A swish for Pena. Pena now with 8 points. He's had 4 in each half so far. He'll get 1 more to try to break the 36-all tie. 1:33 left, third quarter. The Eagles try to even up the series with Los Lunas, who won at the Artesia tournament over the Eagles by 3. Second shot up and good for Pena. He's got 9. So he's 1 away from doubles for the Eagles, and we got a stoppage here. Looks like a sub coming on for the Tigers. That'll be Logan Tafoya as he checks in for Hunter Dixon. 37-36, Eagles by 1 with 1:30 left here in the third. Inbound to the far right sideline, coming across his guest with the dribble in front of the scorer's table. Pass off to the left wing, pivot for Aragon, kicks it down left corner to Holland, fake the tray, goes to the rack, double clutch left side, Mackey hitting him from behind. Holland couldn't get it to drop, a little short on the shot that time, didn't extend it, and Mackey gets a shot from the back, so the foul on him. That'll be his first, just the first or second team foul for the Eagles here in the second half. So on the line will be Holland shooting 2. He is 4 for 5 for 80% and clinks it off the back of the rim, no good. He's yet to score in this second half, still sitting at 14.
And that's fine with us.
He'll get 1 more. Of course, he did have some numbers the last time they played. Holland had 25 in that game against the Eagles. That was a game that Mackey finished with 20. Second shot for Holland's a swish. He's got 15. And that's the same that Mackey has now. We're tied at 37. 1:14 left third. Mackey will throw it over to Hodge on the far side. Gets the trap pressure to the left wing. Double team against him. Returns to Mackey. Swing it right to Pena. Again up top to Mackey with a dribble through his legs and backs it out with 1 minute. Kind of seeing what the D is going to give him. Shot from the free throw line as the defender backed off. Hits hard at the back of the rim. Chased down on the near sideline by Guest. His third rebound for the Tigers. Dribbles into the front court. Sends it down to the right wing. Dribbling through his legs is Griego. Bad pass up top. Mackey will take the steal. He'll go to the rim. He was going to dunk it, but throws it over the front of the iron instead and puts it through. First steal of the game for Mackey. And now he's got some big points. Again, 17 for him. Eagles by 2, 39-37. And that for Los Lunas was their fourth turnover. Pass into the right wing, front court to Griego. Coming back to get it is Tafoya. Top of the circle. One-hander over to left wing to Guest. To the free throw line, dribbling behind his back. Throws up a runner from the left block and scores. Guest puts it through. And Guest now with 6. His first bucket of the third quarter. We're down to 15 seconds left in the third. Tied at 39. Mackey comes across the timeline on the dribble. Slows it down. He wants the last shot, or the team at least. Hard dribble now down to the free throw line. Over to Hodge, left wing. Fakes a 3. Jump step back, tries to throw it up top to Mackey. It's stolen away. A shot at the buzzer is going to be short at the other end. So the steal picked away there for Griego, and the Eagles' fourth turnover. But we are tied at the end of 3. 39-39. Your Hobbs Eagles and the Los Lunas Tigers on the road. The Warriors fight hard against the host Tigers. The Road Warriors, I should say. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. We are tied here in Los Lunas, 39-all as we start the fourth quarter. It'll be Los Lunas basketball. Their leading scorer, 15 for Jalen Holland. And for your Hobbs Eagles, Michael Mackey, 17, Pena, 9. Dribbling down the right side of the lane, jump stop, shot on the fadeaway is Guest, and he nails it. Guest now with 8 points. He's got 4 in the second half. Hobbs down by 2 now, 41-39. Pena now with the dribble as he comes across the timeline. Again, Eagles ranked number 12 in the state right now in the Max Preps poll, number 5 for Los Lunas. Pass to Mackey on the left wing. Mackey will hold it against Holland in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench left side. Stop and go to the left corner. And a 5-second violation called by the official. And Coach Reeves jumps out on the floor. He wants to know why he didn't see the signal until the 5-second count was called. That will be a turnover for the Eagles. And Coach Reeves got very mad at that official. Got in his face that time.
Exactly. He is making his point, or trying to make his point anyway.
Eagles got 16 points in the third and 11 for the Tigers. That's why we were tied. It was a 5-point lead for them at the halftime. It looks like they called the foul on the Eagles there. That's called on Hodge on the reach.
Yes.
So that's going to be his third personal and the third team foul for the Eagles. Inbound back deep. As Guest will have to chase it down. He'll be guarded by Hodge at the timeline. 7:20 left here in the final quarter, 41-39. Tigers by 2. Guest coming across. Doesn't take the screen from Holland. Dribbles behind his back to the right wing and backs it out in front of the Tigers bench on the far right. Bounce pass up top. Pivot for Dixon with the left-hand dribble. Hand off to Holland. Gets ricocheted off the hands of Turbiatis. Hits Holland as well. But they're going to say last touch by Turbiatis. Coaching staff jumping off the bench for the Eagles. And one of the other officials is trying to calm Coach Reeves down on that one. It looked like it should have been Hobbs' ball. Turbiatis swatting at it, but Holland got the last touch. Bouncer comes in to Dixon. Hands it off to Griego, the inbounder, and throws it back deep to Guest. Guest at the timeline. Hodge will come out on him. 6:55 left, fourth quarter. Screen on the right side by Dixon. To the left elbow. Drives the lane. No-look pass back door to the screener. Misses the shot. Dixon gets it down on the rebound. His 6th, and returns it left wing to Holland for 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. Pena rips it down for the Eagles at the free throw line. Heading the other way. His 5th rebound. Down to Hodge on the left block. Tries to shoot, but lost the ball. It rolls out to the far left sideline. Eagles have to dive on it, and a timeout called as Pena recovers it. Coach Reeves was mad at Hodge that time as he didn't know whether he wanted to shoot or pass it, fumbled it. Luckily, Pena just used his body on the floor. He was sliding across, got some burns, I'm sure, to save that one to get the timeout.
Yeah, a little confusion there on that that fast break transition. I was actually thinking they were going to drive the lane, but instead he turned around, tried to pass the ball again, and that's when the trouble started.
Eagles have been doing a lot of passing around the perimeter in this second half especially. Just trying to get the looks that they want to see there. Looks like so far Los Lunas trying to pack in that paint quite a bit, and it's kind of hard to get people open in there. A couple of times Mackey is posted up down to the right block. It's helped out a few times and got him chances for some free throws. But right now he's got 17. To lead the Eagles, 9 for Abraham Pena. Braylon Vega has 7. So those three guys have stepped up for 33 of the Eagles' 39 points. A major majority there. Hodge has 4 and Archibek with 2. And for Los Lunas, the leader is Holland with 15. Nobody else in double digits. 6 for Griego, 5 for Tafoya. And I mentioned, I missed Guest. He had 8 points and second leading scorer. Big difference in 3-point shots in this game. Ron, 6 for Los Lunas and 2 for the Hobbs Eagles, but still a 2-point ball game.
Exactly. And, what I like to see about that is for Hobbs is they're controlling their shots as far as they're not making any wild 3-point shooters like they have had in the past. So they're keeping under control. Like to see a little bit more attempts as far as getting them in, but other than that, good shot selection.
Ball comes into Vega on the right wing. He holds it for a second with 6:28 remaining. Eagles down by 2. Bounce pass to Mackey in the right corner. He's going to fake a shot, then lead in and shoot for the baseline. They're going to call the travel. He did a head fake and then ducked under the defender. Looked like he jumped off his pivot foot. They called the travel on it for some reason, and that will be a turnover for the Eagles. They're 6th. Inbound to the near sideline, in the backcourt to Guest. He goes against Pena at the time stripe. Coming to get a screen is Dixon to the right wing. Shot on the way for Guest. Off the front of the rim, no good. Vega chases it down on the near sideline as the freshman has his 3rd rebound. Throws it ahead to Mackey, left corner of the front court. Spins out of the trouble over to the Hobbs Eagle bench and keeps the dribble going. They're waiting for a screen to come, and there it does for Chisholm. Mackey drives left baseline, double team in the paint. They're going to say he stepped on the baseline. A little bit lost his footing that time and gets the travel. Actually, no, they're going to say he stepped on the baseline. That will be the 7th Eagle turnover. So I think the offense getting a little out of sync now as a couple of the teammates kind of wondering where they're supposed to set up to wait for Mackey's drive to the hoop.
Right.
Inbound to Holland on the near side as he brings it across the time stripe against Michael Mackey. Drives to the left wing, behind his back, spin move, dumps it in the paint underneath the hoop to Dixon. Over to the right wing to Guest, drives the lane, kick right corner to Tafoya for 3. And Tafoya has nailed his 2nd tray of the game. He's got 8 points. That's the 7th tray converted by the Tigers, who now lead by 5. Matching their biggest lead of the first half. Mackey in the front court, 44-39 Tigers. Over to Pena on the left wing, he'll hold it. Screen from Acosta, shot from the free throw line for Pena off the dribble and nails it through. Pena puts some points on the board with 11 total now, 2nd leading scorer with double digits now for the Eagles. 44-41, Tigers by 3, 5:06 left in the game. Driving the lane after a screen is Guesty, runner shot at the back of the rim. Ripping it down for the Eagles board is Chisholm, his first. Outlet to the timeline to Pena to bring it across under 5 minutes remaining. Eagles down by 3. Pena going to slow it down now on the offense. Jumping back on the right wing to try to get it was Vega. They throw it to Mackey instead to the left side. In front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Gets a screen from Acosta, top of the circle. Over to Chisholm on the right side. Dribbles up top and finds Mackey once again. Mackey wants it clear out on the left side. Is cutting the hoop. Doesn't pass it to him, though, to Pena. Mackey is going to dribble up top, looking for help, pivoting. Gets the ball knocked out of his hands, stolen away by Holland. With a second steal, he goes to the rack with the windmill layup on the right side. They're going to say he shuffled his feet and gets a travel. That is the 5th turnover for Los Lunas, but the 8th for the Eagles. And boy, Coach Julian does not like that call.
Nope.
As there's a timeout. The coaching staff said he did a spin move, and there should have been a no travel call there. And so we got some booing going on here from the Tiger fans. We're going to take a quick break. It's Los Lunas 44, your Hobbs Eagles 41. Come back to 4th quarter action on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back here at Los Lunas, your Hobbs Eagles trail by 3, 44-41, and there's kind of a unique history of this gym, Ron, here at Los Lunas.
Exactly. Back in 2007, it was the Albuquerque Journal that reported that this was the high school, the Los Lunas High School, that was actually used for filming for the first season of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, my wife's a major lover of that program, and we started to kind of go to some of the sites, the big Wiener Dog restaurant there in Albuquerque, and I didn't know about Los Lunas High School being their filming site there, but that's pretty cool. I know they also used Albuquerque High School, one of the high schools in Albuquerque for the, I believe was it the high school musical set. So a lot of high schools getting some media time and movie time here, but
Yep.
Eagles right now want to see the Hollywood Magic work for them. They trail by 3, 44-41 with the basketball. 4:20 left, fourth quarter. Payne in the front court, gives off to Mackey. Mackey looks for some rotation in the paint. Instead, Acosta comes back to get the ball. Kicks it left to Vega. Vega pivots after the dribble, finds Mackey on the left wing. In front of the Hobbs Eagle bench, back deep to Hall, who just checked in during the timeout. He's at the top of the circle. Uses up his dribble, though, looking for some help. Flicks it back to Pena. They're going to say he took off with his pivot foot and came back down to the court before the dribble extended, so the travel on the Eagles. They've had 3 turnovers here in this fourth quarter. That's going to be number 9 in the game, though. So well below their average of 18 a contest, half of what they normally get. Getting a screen up top, driving the paint guest, a fade away from the right block, off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound put back up behind him on the right block as well for Tafoya. He's got 10 points and 2 rebounds now. 5-point Tiger lead. 3:40 left in the fourth. Back in the front court to take on Holland. Up top to Pena. Pivots towards the basket to look who's open. Bounce pass to Acosta on the left wing. He's going to pivot, wait for the handoff to Mackey left side in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Dribbles back to the timeline, left to right. Holland will step out on him on defense. Backs up again to the timeline. Waiting for the screen from Acosta. Crossover move for Mackey at the right elbow. Fakes a shot. Is getting stripped by Holland. The ball loose, picked up by Hall, and he gets bear hugged inside the paint. Hawk tried to come up and help to make sure there wasn't a turnover there. Good job to help his teammate that time. They get the foul on Los Lunas. That's their 14th foul as they charge that one to Tafoya, his second. Eagles will get on the left baseline underneath their hoop. And inbounding will be Vega. Hobbs down by 5, 3:15 remaining. Bounce pass back door to Hall, left block. Kicks it left corner to Pena. He's pivoting, getting the screen from Hall. Stays outside and up top to Mackey. Mackey with a dribble to his legs, crossover, shot from the right elbow, double clutch. Ball rims off, no good. Rebound to the right baseline, trying to shoot over Holland's hand that time. And the board brought down by Dixon for his 7th rebound. Tries to outlet to the far side, but it's knocked out by Pena. Right to the Hobbs Eagle bench, right to the backcourt. Clock stops with 3:05 remaining in the fourth. Eagles down by 5. Inbounders Guest. Bounce pass to the timeline, picked up by Holland. He'll take on Mackey one-on-one. Mackey got a piece of it. Holland able to push it forward to get across the timeline. Bouncing into Mackey in the free throw line front court. Over the left wing to pass to Tafoya. Sends it back deep to Guest. Over to Holland on the right wing in front of the Los Lunas bench. Dribbles to his legs, trying to go through Mackey. Chest to chest, and they call the foul. Mackey wasn't set, so the block foul on him. That'll only be his second, though. 14th foul. Both teams had 4 fouls apiece, so we're nowhere near bonus situation. Kind of a fast-moving second half, Ron.
It certainly is. It was amazing. I was just thinking a moment ago, it was just the third quarter. Now it's almost less than 3 minutes to go in the fourth.
Riego gets the inbound on the right wing, drives to the free throw line, pivots, throws it out left to Tafoya, fakes a 3, and back deep to Guest. To the right wing to Holland in front of the Tigers bench. Clock to 2:35 remaining. Eagles down by 5. Returns deep to the timeline to Tafoya, guarded closely by Hall. Comes right with the dribble, hands off to Holland. From right to left, gets a screen up top from Dixon. Comes down the lane right side, leads with a hook shot off the side of the rim, no good. Rebound in the paint by Griego. He does a fadeaway and puts it through the hole. Griego now with 8 points and 2 rebounds, a 7-point lead, the biggest of the game for Los Lunas here in the fourth quarter. Mackey in the front court, 48-41, down by 7. Back deep to Pena. To Mackey on the left wing, coming to get it is Vega left side. Tried to see if anybody was open down the lane, doesn't see so, and then throws it up top to Acosta. Handoff to Pena. Drives the left side of the lane, throws up a off-balance shot, and puts it through the hole on the fade on the left side of the paint. Right up in front of the free throw line. A quick timeout for the Eagles. Pena now with 13 points, 4 coming here in the fourth quarter. 48-43. Is it time for the legendary Hobbs Eagle man-to-man press here, Ron, with a 5-point deficit?
It is, because right now we're looking at 9-4 is what the quarter is so far, and Hobbs is not taking any advantage of their ability to be able to make those shots. In fact, they've had a couple of bad possessions under their basket. Were able to unfortunately turn it over You know, the other thing is this that I've seen from Los Lunas. The Tigers have been able to get those rebounds, get those second chance shots, and at least 2 of them that I know of that they made just moments ago that have put this game not out of reach yet, but it's a 5-point deficit for the Hobbs, and they need to get into it fast.
Not a big difference in rebounds, though, overall. Los Lunas with 19 and Hobbs with 17, but they've got them in some critical spots is what I think you're referring to there.
Exactly.
But it's just a 2-point difference or 2-rebound difference there. Although Hobbs hasn't had a lot of people step up in the fourth so far. Payton with the only 2 buckets. He's got 4. Mackey's still solid at 17 here in this fourth quarter of action total. And other than that, you got 7 from Braylon Vega. So hopefully some guys can step up. We got a 5-point deficit. Holland leads with 15 for the Tigers, 10 for Tafoya, and 8 apiece for Guest and Griego. The inbound comes to Holland on the near sideline. He's going to slow it down as Hodge will defend him at the time stripe. Boy, Holland got away with a shove off there, no call. Dribbles up top of the circle, fell to the floor. That's going to be a pickoff for Hodge, his steal. He'll go to the rack, it's a scoop shot, gets hammered, no call. And boy, the Hobbs staff is not a happy camper. Rebound pulled down by Guest, his fourth. Throws it ahead to Holland, fumbling in the lane at the other end. Everybody on the floor now for the tie-up, and we look like we might have a jump ball. Hopefully, they're not going to call a foul on that one.
Yeah, it should be a foul. I mean, it should be a jump ball, you're right. And that looks like it goes to the possession of Hobbs.
After that steal for Hodge, that was the 6th turnover for the Tigers. Now a jump ball is going to give it right back to the Eagles. So turnover number 7 for the Tigers. And a 5-point lead for Los Lunas, though, with 1:25 remaining. Hodge will bring it across the timeline after the inbound. Gives to Payne up top. Return to Mackey on the right wing. To Acosta, top of the circle. Clock down to 1:18. Dribbles right, give it to Hodge. To the free throw line off the dribble. Bounce pass to Vega, left corner. Spots up a 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. Mackey tries to get 2 hands on it, but it comes off his fingertips on the baseline. And that'll go back to the Tigers with 1:10 remaining. Hobbs going to start matching people up here on defense on the press. Hodge will be the block man on the baseline. Mackey and Vega back there to help out on the D as well. Inbound to the near side to Guest. Guest will take on Vega one-on-one. Clock to 1 minute. Everybody else drops back. A one-on-one situation here. Into the front court is Guest on the far right side. Stop and go. Dumps it in the left elbow or left block to Dixon. Kick it out left corner. 3 on the way for Griego. Why do they need that one? No good. Rebound on the left block pulled down by Dixon is 8, but I'm not sure why they're shooting a tray. They call the foul on the Eagles on the wraparound. They'll call the foul on Pena, his first, 15 foul. And a chance, no free throws there. They're going to say he wasn't shooting, but they're going to give it to Guest on the right base for the inbound underneath the Tiger hoop. Looks like the Eagles going to call a timeout. We're going to keep it right here. 5-point Los Lunas lead, 48-43. Again, the last time these two teams played, 46-43 was the final in that game, and Los Lunas winning by 3 in Artesia at the Tournament of Champions. So, boy, kind of almost a carbon copy of what we saw in that game back on December 2nd.
Yeah, so far not exactly what I expected to see, especially since Hobbs had been improving on their scoring. Right now, though, falling back to some old tricks, but still have some time left. They can they get the ball back. They can get it down the court really fast, get some fast break points. Maybe we can get a foul on that one as well, get 3, and maybe go from there.
Teams were tied at the end of the third, 39 all, so it's been a 9-4 run here for Los Lunas. And not the prettiest fourth quarter for either team, but, Los Lunas just getting a little bit of an edge and getting some guys getting physical underneath the hoop is basically what's kept them in this game. And Hobbs are trying to see what the offense is going to give them the defense is going to give them around the perimeter, trying to force the defense to come out, but nothing's really been opening up very much in the paint for the Eagles, and that's been their downfall, at least with a 5-point deficit at this point.
Yeah, give it up for Los Lunas on that one.
Holland will inbound to the left corner of the front court, gets it into Guest with 50 seconds. Back deep and doing the splits is Dixon. They're going to say he was pushed, so Acosta gets the foul call. And for Acosta, that's his second personal, 16th foul, 1 away from the bonus. As they'll give it back to the Tigers in front of the scorers table on the right side. Substitution going to come in as well. Isaiah Aragon returns. And checking out will be Dixon. Dixon's our big rebounder. He's got 8 boards. Kind of surprised he's coming out now. Throwing it in will be Griego, back deep to the backcourt to Guest. Picked up by Payne in the backcourt. He does a spin move with 40 seconds left in the fourth. Spin move to the right wing again. Double team with Mackey. Slows it back to Griego on the pass. Returns over to Guest on the right side. Again to Griego at the timeline with 33, and Mackey fouls him. Stops the clock. And boy, Coach Julian thought that was a rough foul on Mackey. Stepped out on the court yelling at the official. That'll be the 3rd on Mackey. And that will be a bonus situation as well for the Tigers.
Sometimes you got to do that, though. Sometimes you got to make it where it's obviously a foul, so a good call.
Yeah, to get the clock stopped quickly there. That'll put on the line Gallo Griego. He's yet to shoot a free throw. Does have 8 points. Does have a couple of trays to his name as well, so he's a decent shooter from the outside. And makes the first free throw there. He's got 9 points, 1 away from 10. That would make the third double-digit score for Los Lunas. 15 for Holland, who hasn't scored in the fourth quarter. And Tapoya has 10. Waiting for one more free throw now from Griego. 49-43 Tigers, and misses out the back of the rim. Pulled down on the left block for the Eagles. As ripping it down for Hobbs was Acosta, his third. Throws it down the lane to Hodge, gets rejected going up on the left side of the glass. He went hard down the rack that time, and he got hammered. Ball squirted up straight in the air. The foul against Los Lunas, that will be their 5th. And that charged to Hunter Dixon, his first. So that'll put Hodge on the line. Peyton Hodge is yet to shoot a free throw. He has 4 points in the contest.
Not the time you really want to start shooting free throws near the end of the game when it counts the most.
Shot is up and hits off the front of the rim, no good. Hodge came into this game shooting from the charity stripe at 29%. He'll get one more, though, to try to get this down to a 5-point ball game. A little bit of switch in the lane. Mackey comes in and tells Vega to back out the side of the perimeter. One more shot for Hodge, 49-43. Los Lunas leading, and the second one's a swish. He's got 5 points. 49-44, 25 seconds left, and driving up hard after the inbound. They get it in quickly to Guest. He got sandwiched between Hodge and Pena in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench on the right side. They get the foul call there to stop the clock. That's the 8th on the Eagles as they charge that one to, appears to be Pena's second. On the line will be Guest. Guest is yet to shoot a free throw in this game. He does have 8 points, and a sub going to come in for Los Lunas. Checking on is Isaiah Aragon for Dixon. So a 1-on-1 bonus here for the Tigers. Shot is up, and it is ricocheting around the rim, but good for Guest. He's got 9. Extends the lead to 6 now for the Tigers, 50-44. 24.9 seconds remaining here in Los Lunas. Eagles came in with a 9-7 record, and the Tigers at 12-3. Second shot for Guest is off the back of the rim. Chased down by Acosta, almost the same play we had on the other free throws a second ago. That's his 4th board. Bounce across the line to Mackey on the right wing. Clock down to 17. Cross court left is right in the hands. A pickoff for the Tigers is taking it away is Guest. And that will be for the Eagles their 10th turnover. Mackey jumped in the air and tried to throw it cross court from right to left. And right in the hands of the defender. So that'll send Guest to the other end. He got fouled after that as he got the foul on the Eagles. That's Acosta's 3rd and the 19th foul. So Guest goes right back to the line where he was seconds ago. He was 1 of 2 from the stripe. Still trying to get 10 for the night if you get one of the free throws. This one in and out. Missed it again underneath the hoop is Hodge for the rebound, his 3rd. Throws it ahead to Vega on the right wing. He fires up a 3 off the front of the rim, no good. Hodge at the free throw line with a double clutch and puts it off the glass in the hole. That looks like that might run out the clock, though, and it does. So Hodge gets the final bucket of the game. And his 4th rebound, 7 points for Hodge, but the final score is Los Lunas 50, your Hobbs Eagles 46. Eagles will drop to 9-8 in the season, and Los Lunas goes to 13-3. We'll take a 3-minute break, come back with the Hobbs Eagle postgame show live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Welcome back to Los Lunas. Ty Friend, Ron Gunner, and Tiffany Stuber with you tonight as the Eagles unfortunately losing to Los Lunas. Hard-fought battle, though. Eagles were leading in this game as well. Final score 50-46. Eagles now 9-8 on the year. Los Lunas improves to 13-3. And again, you know, Hobbs playing tight tough most of this game. A very close contest, tied at 39 at the end of the third quarter. And Los Lunas is able to finish it up by winning this ball game, just getting a few more points in that fourth quarter. Like I said, 39-39, and they ended up scoring a total of 11 compared to 7 for the Eagles, so +4 to get the win there. Look at the numbers in the contest so far, or the game it is completed. The top score for Los Lunas, 15 points for Jalen Holland, although he only scored 1 point, 1 for 2 on the line in the fourth quarter, so not a real dominant game for him. He was 5 of 7 from the line and had 4 rebounds and a couple of steals for the Tigers' cause. Getting double digits, Logan Tafoya finishing with 10 points. He had 2 trays in the game with 2 rebounds. A couple of guys getting 9 apiece. That was Ezra Guest. He had 1 of 3 free throw shooting in the contest. And his teammate Gael Griego finished with 9 points. He was 1 of 2 from the line and had 2 trays in the game. So they had 2 double-digit scores in Holland and Tafoya, 2 guys with 9 in Griego and Guest. Isaiah Juarez hit a bucket for 2 points. And also a tray for Isaiah Aragon with 3 and Hunter Dixon with 2. Their top rebounder was Dixon. He had 8 total in this ball game, 4 apiece for Holland and Guest. They had a total of 21 rebounds, the same amount for the Hobbs Eagles. That's kind of fitting. The score was close the whole way. Both teams with 21 boards as well. Again, they didn't have good free throw shooting. They were shooting in the 50s in that game against the Eagles December 2nd. Tonight, the same thing, 7 of 13 for 53%. They did have 7 trays in the contest, just 2 for the Eagles. That was a definite advantage for the Tigers. And less turnovers as well, 7 for Los Lunas and 10 for the Eagles. Looking on the Eagles side of the coin, they finished with 2 guys in double digits. Michael Mackey was 17 points. He was 5 of 5 from the charity stripe, 3 rebounds and a steal for the Eagles' cause. Abraham Pena finishing with 13 points. He was 2 of 3 from the line. He did have a tray in the contest and had 5 rebounds for the Eagles, plus a steal on defense. So those 2 guys in Mackey and Pena combining for 30 of the Hobbs Eagles' 46 points in this ball game. Braylon Vega finishing with 7 points with a tray and 3 rebounds. Peyton Hodge coming off the bench for 7 points. He was 1 of 2 from the line and had 4 rebounds and a steal. And last but not least, Chris Archibek with 2 points. Hobbs with 5 scores in the game. Again, 2 3-pointers, as we mentioned, compared to 7 for Los Lunas. Hobbs was 8 of 12 from the charity stripe for 66%. They did get the 21 rebounds, 5 for Pena, and also 4 for Acosta. 3 apiece for Michael Mackey and Braylon Vega in this game. Hobbs with 10 turnovers, again 7 for Los Lunas. So again, 50-46 the final. Eagles losing by 4 in this one. This was anybody's game, though. I mean, in terms of scoring in this contest, Eagles' biggest lead was 2 points, 7 points for Los Lunas before the final of 4. But still, Hobbs had a couple of leads in this game and could have won this contest.
Yeah, it came down to a couple of things. Basically, defense as far as who was going to make the most stops, and also offense, the ones that were going to take the chances and get in the lane, try to get some points, and maybe even just try to get some fouls and free throws in it as well. That was what Los Lunas was doing. They were getting up and down the court a little bit faster, it seemed like sometimes, than Hobbs was. Hobbs, of course, came back, and they were having their nice little runs. So, yeah, it was a back-and-forth affair. 39-39, there was any lead changes in the fourth quarter, unfortunately. That's when Hobbs kind of fell a little short as far as their shooting. Did not get enough fouls to get on the free throw line. They weren't even in foul trouble. I mean, Los Lunas wasn't in foul trouble. So there was never any bonus for the Hobbs Eagles, which kind of hurt them as well. And towards the end, it was more of the free throwing for Los Lunas that kept them in the lead just enough to get that victory. But, you know, this is, again, one of those learning situations for Hobbs. They need to try something a little different maybe. Instead of doing the same thing, try to see if they get different results. Instead, go out there and try to just force the issue a little bit, not by shooting as much, just by getting into the paint and trying to see if you can get something open, an open look or two. And once they do that, maybe get some rebounds as well, then things may change for them.
Well, the next opponent for the Eagles, going up a little bit off to the north, looks like more like northeast, I guess, to Rio Rancho. Cleveland Storm are going to be hosting the Eagles tomorrow afternoon. It will be a 3:30 tip-off. We'll have the pregame show for you at 3:15. The Cleveland Storm at 12-5 this season. Of course, they did play at Task Arena the last game of the Hobbs Holiday Tournament against the Eagles, and they won that one by 3, 57-54. So, again, these two teams have had some experience against each other, and Cleveland's been at that Hobbs Holiday Tournament several years in a row. In that game for the Eagles, Michael Mackey finishing with 20 points to lead the squad. Abraham Payne with 13, so those guys combined 33 of the 54 that the Eagles scored in that contest. Hobbs was 8 of 15 from the charity stripe at Tasker for 53%. And they did have 23 rebounds in the ball game. Michael Mackey was the leader with 8. Caden Hall had 6 in the losing cause there. Big difference, though, was the turnovers. Hobbs with 20 and 14 for Cleveland. So that plus 6 for the Cleveland Storm getting an advantage in that category. And they had a couple of guys scoring doubles. Noah Padilla finishing with 15 points and 7 rebounds. And Remy Hubricht had 14 points and 2 rebounds for a winning cause there. Elijah McNeil with 9 points in that game. So several guys stepping up and scoring for the Cleveland Storm. But that was another game that could have been a Hobbs victory, very close to the wire. And Cleveland didn't do themselves any justice. They had a lot of free throw opportunities, but they only made 16 out of 34 for 47%. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot in that game, and the Eagles almost took advantage of that.
Exactly, and they did that just the other day with Sandia too, where they only had 3 or 4 from the free throw line. And it was Sandia who had like 13 from 18 and won that game. But yes, Cleveland could have been either way on that one as well for Hobbs. Unfortunately, it went Cleveland's way, didn't go Hobbs' way. And I'm expecting to see a little closer game against Cleveland. They're showing some chinks in their armor, so to speak, as far as being able to win. But this was the first time for Hobbs to come here in Las Lunas in their whole series. And the Cleveland series also the same thing. First time they're going to go up to Cleveland and play up there. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can battle up against Cleveland without getting too far behind.
And since that last game with Hobbs, December 30th, they defeated Hope Christian. Cleveland did 81-58, big win there. Beat Highland 54-48. Lost to Sandia once, 77-57 by 20, and lost again on January 12th, 66-59, the game you were referring to. Lost to West Mesa by 23, and that's kind of a question mark there. They lost a lot more points than what the Eagles lost to West Mesa at the APS Metro tournament. Beat La Cueva by 3, which is a good win for them, 63-60. I think in their last game with Sandia on the 12th, 66-59. So right now, Cleveland sitting at 12-5. They are 6-1 at home, though. That's a big win, a good record there on their home court. So that's something they're going to probably want to keep track of there and take care of business when they play the Hobbs Eagles. Again, that's going to be an afternoon affair. We'll have that at 3:15 with the pregame tip-off at 3:30. And, Ron, any final comments as the Eagles have to head on for another game? They've been on the road for quite a bit. APS Metro Tournament, 4 games last week. Las Cruces on Tuesday night with a big win there. And then, of course, going here tonight and then all the way over to Rio Rancho.
Yeah, what they need to do is this. Don't get stuck in the past. Don't regret what you didn't do or did do. Just go ahead and learn what you need to learn and then move forward and try to get better at your game. They were doing that so far. They were definitely getting the last 8 games were good, but unfortunately this one did not turn up as they wanted to. But I do have a couple of games that have been in finals. For Leamington girls, they did go ahead and defeat Texaco. That was a score of 59-38. Leamington boys also won in Texaco as well. That was a score of, actually, I think it was in Leamington, but it was 54-45. Oh, no, actually, that's in the fourth quarter. Sorry, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. And Eunice lost a very low-scoring game against Chilorosa girls. That was the score of 31-29.
Again, final here in Los Lunas tonight. It is Los Lunas Tigers with the victory, winning by 4, 50-46. The final score is the Eagles dropped to 9-8 on the season, and the Los Lunas Tigers improved to 13-3. I'd like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle basketball here on HobbsAmerica.com and also YouTube and Cool 95.7, including Lee County State Bank, Thriftway Grocery, Forest Tire, Hobbs Express, Robinson & Associates, Devon Energy, First American Bank, Eunice Pump and Supply, Lasco Construction, and NMR Pipeline. Thanks to Tiffany Stuber back at the station. Also, Ron Gunner, myself, Ty Fred. We will see you tomorrow for the pregame show in Rio Rancho against Cleveland, 3:15. Tip-off at 3:30. Have a great rest of a Friday night out there.